Wasn't that good during COVID?
Behind the column.
Good idea. Looks like it's
Why was that?
Is there something else going on?
I know.
I saw a lot of strange kids out there.
We have PAL kids from outside the church. So we usually try to advertise it a little bit and open it up. We may just be regular ministry.
That makes sense.
His daughter looks to me like a Greek. No, I haven't had a dog.
Wow.
It just clears it out.
Yeah. Well, that's we had creamy Parmesan garlic chicken last night. And so we all have to make sure we brush our teeth as well.
Actually, now I'm doing it again. Somebody has clothes and got a 2-month Good luck with that. Don't forget. Right here. But I'm on the committee with you. Oh, yeah.
don't know that it happened this way, but I do know that it's true. That long ago and far away, or more likely, recently and pretty nearby, high up in the mountains on a black cherry tree, an egg was laid on a leaf. And in the light of the full moon, out of that egg hatched a little brownish caterpillar with white markings that would look to any bird who might chance by like bird droppings. The caterpillar's name was Homer. Homer looked around in surprise and in wonder to find himself alive in the world.
Better eat your egg casing, little friend, said a black and spiky caterpillar nearby.
Homer did just that. And then he turned to look at his new friend.
Welcome to the world, said the other caterpillar, whose name was Alex. It's delicious. Here, try some of this leaf.
Together, the two caterpillars munched on leaves that spring through rain and sun, sunrises and sunsets. They laughed together at the antics of baby birds. They hid together under leaves that the black spiky caterpillar had collected so that parent birds could not catch them. Alex taught Homer all he needed to know about life on a leaf. How to stay safe, how to munch, how to enjoy the feeling of the wind stirring the tree and the sun slowly warming the mountains each morning. Together they gazed each night up at the beautiful moon. But one day, the black spiky caterpillar started something totally new and different. "What are you doing?" asked Homer as Alex carefully put down silk on the underside of a twig in the newest collection of leaves and began hanging upside down.
Making a chrysalis, said Alex.
"A what?"
You'll see.
And over the next couple of days, in the shelter of the leaves, the black spiky caterpillar shifted and shed its skin and became a strange, lumpy brown thing, all hanging there and not making any conversation. What could this mean? For a week, Homer munched quietly by himself, watching the strange brown hanging thing that used to be his friend, wondering and worrying as the strange, lumpy brown thing shifted in color and size and pattern. And then one day, out of the strange, lumpy brown chrysalis pushed an even stranger new creature. Homer watched as this new creature pumped blood into its black and white and bright orange wings. Wings? And unfurled a strange new mouth. "What?" cried Homer. "Who?" The new creature turned to look at him.
And, oh, little friend, it's still me. I'm still Alex, the one you laughed and hid and munched leaves with and watched the moon. But now I'm a butterfly, an admiral butterfly, to be specific, Alex said proudly.
"But you changed," cried Homer. "You were as constant as the moon, and now you have changed."
Alex smiled gently. "Oh, my friend," they said, "we're supposed to change. Why, even the moon is different night to night. Sometimes we see all of it, and sometimes only a sliver, and sometimes we can't see it at all."
"But I don't want to change," lamented Homer, scared and sad.
"Change is part of who we are," said the butterfly who was Alex, "and now our friendship must change too. I must fly away in search of flowers and other butterflies, and eventually I will fly south to stay warm in the winter. You must continue to eat and grow and stay safe from the birds, but you will change too. Just remember, you belong here. And whatever your body does, you are a beautiful friend, and I'm glad I know you. And with that, Alex took to the sky.
But wait, there's more. All that summer, Homer the little brown caterpillar ate and grew and hid and watched the moon, which did indeed look a little different every night. Homer became a bigger brown caterpillar. His white splotch turned into two little eye shapes, so he looked like a fearsome snake, and no birds ate him. Day by day, the seasons moved toward autumn. Finally, Homer found his own safe spot to hang upside down, and he shifted into a chrysalis. This was scary, but Homer remembered his friend and was brave. All winter, the chrysalis hung there, safe and still. In the spring, Homer felt himself stir, felt his new body shift once again, and wiggled free to find himself with a new mouth and different shape and wings. Wings that were yellow and black and blue and orange and glorious. "Oh my," said Homer, the Appalachian tiger swallowtail butterfly, gazing at himself in wonder and delight. And then he took off into the sky, up towards the bright moon, as bold as the beautiful future. The end. Welcome to worship at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Greensboro. I'm the Reverend Sadie Lansdale, and I'm the minister of this congregation. Unitarian Universalists believe that each person has a trustworthy relationship with the Spirit, with the Holy, with the source of all life, with what some call God, though we name it and know it differently from one another. And we believe that because we are interconnected, no one's free until we are all free. So we strive to build beloved community here on earth, in our fellowship with one another, in our work for justice. Whether today is your first or your 1,000th Sunday with us, we are stronger because you are here. We are one people of many beliefs, many origins, sexualities, and genders. We're all growing, all learning, and all loved. Our ministry team here at UUCG is Cindy Dillard, our Director of Children's and Youth Ministry, Julie Hamilton, our Congregational Administrator, and Luke Steichleather, our Experimental Director of Music. Should you have your phone on, adding to the beautiful music of the service? Should you take your mask off?
My name is Nora Bird, and I am a member of this congregation. Oscar Kay will light our chalice. Please join me in our chalice lighting words found in your order of service. We light this chalice, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith, to remind us to connect in spirituality and service, to care for each other and the world, and to create loving community. A covenant contains the promises we make to one another in response to the great gift of living, holding ourselves to these holy aspirations, Will you join me in our church covenant? We, the members of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Greensboro, do covenant to promote a search for personal meaning, respecting the individual truth in a community process of quest, speak and act with caring, courtesy, and love, thereby maintaining emotional, physical, and spiritual safety for all. Support UUCG and denominational efforts with our resources. Combat injustice while promoting equality. Nurture our children on their spiritual journey. Hold ourselves to this covenant, especially during times of conflict and disagreement.
Will you rise in body or in spirit for our opening hymn number 101, Abide with Me? If you're joining us in the sanctuary, won't you wave hello to everyone joining us online? If you're online, go ahead and introduce yourselves in the chat and say hi to each other. If you're in person, this is the time to greet your neighbors. beautiful it is to be together. We gather in gratitude this morning, turning our hearts to thanks and praise for the gift of living in the presence of the Spirit that animates all life, and in the knowledge that we are powerfully and profoundly connected to all that is, all that has been, and all that will be. During these few minutes of silence, you can focus on something you're grateful for, someone you are remembering especially today, or just the sensation of your chair supporting you. Will you find an even more comfortable place in your seat and take a few easy breaths as we settle into our shared silence together? We bring the echoes in our hearts before our community and before the holy in this sacred space and time. If you're online, this is your time to share your joys and sorrows with one another in the chat. If you're in person and you have a milestone you'd like added to our prayers, you can fill out a yellow card and the ushers will collect it. If there's a joy on your heart, come forward and place a flower in the vase. If a sorrow or a burden, you can place a stone in the bowl. If someone special to you is on your heart and your mind today, you can light a candle of prayer and presence. And if you're feeling a little fidgety or you're not quite sure how you're feeling, we've got pipe cleaners in the back. Please feel free. In church, we practice becoming more fully human. This is your time to take stock of how you arrive here and to take what you need, knowing the table is set for us all. Will you join me in prayer and presence? Spirit of life and love, God of many names and beyond all naming, source of all. On this day, we pray especially for Samantha. Joanna Marath's precious daughter, Samantha, will turn 11 years old on Wednesday. Our prayers of joy and gratitude are with you and your family. Appreciation for Cindy Dillard and the youth advisors for the lock-in last night and a good night's sleep. The parents, thank you. Gratitude for Brian and Jesse and Cindy for hosting the youth lock-in. We're so grateful and so filled with joy. Ed Klein is grateful for his longtime friend, Charlie Horn, age almost 97, to continue to stand by me and our family. Ed, our prayers of gratitude for your friendship with Charlie. Linda Bridges is grateful for freedom to follow her heart, mind, and experience to make her own choices. Someone offers a prayer for the Pelosi's. We name aloud or in the chat those people on our hearts, living or dead, near or far, that this community might hold them in love.
Homer's prayer. Without the worm, there is no butterfly. Without crawling in the leaves, eating hungrily of possibility, there is no flying. Without the community of other worms, watching their transformations, we cannot see what we can become. And so we are locked in our present struggle and cannot see what change and metamorphosis can bring. Look to your community, our community, the wider community. Look and feel the power and beauty awaiting us. The wings we do not yet have, the adventures we cannot predict, the tomorrow barely glimpsed. We ask these blessings for ourselves, for those we love, and for those we do not yet love. Amen.
I
children and youth are invited to go with their teachers to class. Please join me in singing them out. Go in peace, go in love, go in joy. All right, we're going to do a story recap, and I need your assistance. So, there are two caterpillars. What are their names?
Homer and Alex.
Homer and Alex. Wow, the listening. Okay, and who changes first?
Alex.
And what does Homer say when Alex emerges from their chrysalis?
You changed.
You've changed. Then what happens? Then what does Homer do?
Flies away.
No, Alex flies away. Yeah. What does Homer do?
He stays and eats.
He stays, he eats. Okay, and then after he eats, what does he do? Then he builds a chrysalis, and then he changes. And then when he emerges from his chrysalis, he discovers that he is a butterfly. Bonus points. Who remembers specifically the species of butterfly? Oh, yes. Yes, Homer is an Appalachian tiger swallowtail butterfly. 100 bonus points to all of you. What helped Homer when he was scared?
His friend.
His friend, yeah. But his friend was gone. How did his friend help him?
Still in his heart. As an example.
Yeah, that his friend set an example. His friend was in his heart. Mm-hmm. Beautifully recapped. It's scary out there for a little caterpillar, dodging birds, trying not to get eaten. Alex changes, and then they leave and they fly away. And then Homer is alone. Homer is longing for something constant and unchanging. Homer says, "You were as constant as the moon, and now you have gone and changed." Homer wants things to stay the same. We hear that in our hymn, don't we? "O thou who changest not." Many traditions proclaim a God who does not change, who is constant and present. Hold fast to God's unchanging hand, Rock of Ages. At the very least, Unitarian Universalists as a group have a lot of questions about the idea of a God who does not change. Process theology teaches us even the source of life changes. We partner with it, but it doesn't control us. We're all participating in a larger becoming influenced by us, but not entirely controlled by us either. The wisdom of science reveals that everything changes, just maybe at a time scale larger than ours. An apple core takes a month to biodegrade. An orange peel takes 6 months. Cardboard only takes 2 months. Cigarette butts, 10 years. Leather shoes, 25 to 40 years. Aluminum cans, 80 to 200 years. Even geologic time is characterized by change. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountains should crumble to the sea. One of my favorite facts about the east coast of the United States is that the Appalachian mountain range was once as high as the Rockies and the Alps, and is so much older that it has worn down over time. How old are the Appalachian Mountains? Who has a guess? No Googling.
2 billion years.
2 million? 2 billion. not quite. That's a little high. Who has another guess? 200 million? No, but closer. One more guess. There's no prize. 50 million, 480 million years old. All the glory goes to Heather. It takes a star 100 million years to die, and yet they die. When I was a child, I thought people in their 30s are so old. How things change. Most of what we experience in our own lives is characterized by change, actually. And sometimes in a terrible way, a way that we ought to resist at all costs. The bold resurgence of hatefulness, rising rents, stagnating wages, the disappearance of the American middle class. These changes are happening now, and they are frightening, and they ought to be fought. On a smaller scale, right in here, you can see all the joys and the bowl of sorrows, which our youth group has dubbed the Depression Bowl. And our candles. So many of these visual representations of how you are and what you need and what's going on in your lives, so many of these are about the changes in your lives. Now, some changes in our loved ones can be joyous. We have Samantha's birthday. When people come out and change their names, when people declare more boldly who they are and how they'd like to be known. But changes in our loved ones can also be confusing or painful, whether it's change that is chosen or change they do not choose, or simply the march of time, which is not always friendly to us. We move, or our friends move. Time makes you bolder, children get older, I'm getting older too. Now, not for nothing, most of the conflict that emerges in congregations is around change. Some of us, even the best of us, can be deceived into believing that the church should be a constant. Abide with me, O thou who changest not. The bylaws, or something like that. You know, this reliance on something sturdy is directed not toward the holy, to the source and spirit of life, but to the church itself, or the building, which, by the way, this church was founded in 1951, so hardly eons, has been housed in a bunch of different buildings. Our traditions and habits can become so rigid because we're looking around the rest of our lives, seeing all this dang change all over the place, and wanting this place to be the one place that gives us a break. I mean, if we're honest, some of this is going on. We are not special in struggling sometimes with change. Entire fields of study, many, many books are written about this very universal truth. Sometimes I would like to just crawl up into the cozy chrysalis and stay there. And yet, it is not actually the role of the church to be a constant in anyone's life, at least not in our habits or our buildings or our bylaws or the ways we organize ourselves. The role of the church is to equip its members to face the challenges of our age. The role of the church is to gather us to be inspired, to bring more loving power into the world. My friend Elena Smith says to conspire with the eternal. To face these changes with courage and curiosity. I have heard the church described as a gym and a hospital for souls. A gym and a hospital for souls. To tend spiritual wounds and to provide opportunity for spiritual strengthening. The changes in our congregation now, both chosen and not chosen, are an opportunity for the strengthening of the Spirit. This is not something you have to like, but it is true. And there is so much joy and so much possibility to be found, even when things feel messy. Welcome to the world, Homer. It's delicious. Homer and Alex laugh and they have fun together. They enjoy each other's company. Alex guides Homer through some important changes. We're all supposed to change, they said. Even the moon changes. And you belong here. You've adapted with your brown coloring and your clever splotches so the birds won't eat you. Whatever your body does, you're a beautiful friend, and I'm glad I know you. Homer remembered his friend when things got scary. He took courage from Alex's example. And then he did what caterpillars know how to do. He followed his deep inner knowing, the source of which is as mysterious as the moon. Process theology teaches us that the divine mystery changes too. The author and sage Octavia Butler has written, "All that you touch, you change. All that you change, changes you. The only lasting truth is change. God is change." After all, Alex tells Homer, even the moon changes. Yes, there is fear. Change brings loss. But there is also joy, and there is extraordinary possibility. I know of a drag queen named Charlene who discovered that she's not actually a man who's doing drag, putting on dramatic makeup and a dress and performing karaoke songs. She's actually a transgender woman. But it was the freedom she found in her drag community, the dressing up and trying on a costume, that showed her that it actually wasn't only a costume, right? That actually being a woman is the beautiful truth of her life. That by playing around with change, she took the chance to see what it was like and experienced who she truly is. I know of a church that had dwindled to 5 members and an endowment. And they closed and they waited and were approached by some people who wanted to build a Christian community focused on paying off debt. And that's what they did instead. The details of this are basically that the quicker you can pay off a loan, the less interest you pay on it. So if people pitch in to help each other pay off their debts, everyone ends up paying less. They figured pooling resources and trying to work on this together would save them all money and allow them to practice a faith that gets people free. There are times when change is so alive to us. For me, these few weeks of fall are one such time. The spiritual potency of the glorious leaves and the crisp air and the threat of darkness and the wild swing in temperature. Plus, it's Halloween. Halloween is the time we put on costumes and we knock on our neighbors' doors. The time when we occupy public space boldly and joyfully, when we turn strangers into friends, when we ask for what we want, and whether or not it is good for us, we are given it. The time when we are expected to keep the lights on and answer the door to whomever knocks. The transformation that we all collectively agree on year upon year, the one where we answer the door with delight rather than suspicion or annoyance. Year upon year at this time, we try on what it would be like to live in a world where rowdy joy in public is celebrated, where sharing what we've got is gleefully expected and indulged in, and not only that, but planned for, prepared for, and where we practice trusting that when we knock, the door shall be answered. There are beautiful ways of being that are possible for us and practiced by us, and you will not see them if you stay home with the door closed and the light off, refusing. There are beautiful things coming, beautiful things possible in your life and in this place, but we will not see them if we cling to our chrysalis. Is there a change that you want to try on? Is there some kind of beautiful or terrible becoming inside of you happening, whether you have chosen it or not? The spirit of the season beckons you. The spirit of life inside you and around you, the deep inner knowing shared by the caterpillar, and sometimes the extraordinary examples of those who have gone before. They push forward, they push inward, they push onward into the beautiful future we cannot yet see, but we can help create. May it be so for you and so for us all. Amen. Will you rise in body or in spirit for a musical response, a fierce unrest, to practice getting a little comfortable with change? I had never heard this hymn sung before. It is entirely unfamiliar to me. We're going to hear it all the way through, and then we're going to try.
One of the ways that we live out our mission to create loving community is to contribute financially to the ministries of this congregation and to the good work of our community partners. One of the mysteries of this church is our Ministers' Discretionary Fund, which is available to anyone in a tough spot. We can help with medical bills, rent, groceries, or other needs. Rev Sadie's email and phone number are on the back of your order of service, or you can contact the church through our website. Our offering this month goes to Greensboro Mutual Aid. They stock a community fridge, pay people's rent and other bills, and collect COVID tests. They show our city how we can care for one another and how we can follow that most common human impulse to just want to lend a hand when we can. If you'd like to make a contribution for our offering to be split with Greensboro Mutual Aid, you can do so at the link in the description of this video if you're online. You can text GIVE to the number in your order of service. You can also mail a check, or if you're as old as I am, you might even have cash in your wallet and you can put it in the basket. Ushers will come forward to collect the offering, which will now be gratefully received.
Sometimes when I'm all alone and feeling kinda low, I think I'd like to leave this place I know and travel to another where the sky is always blue, where I can leave the past behind and start on something new.
I don't know just
Will you join me in our chalice extinguishing words in your order of service? We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Prepare yourselves for the spiritual power of announcements. If you're online and you'd like to get more connected with us, click the link in the description of this video and fill out our contact form. If you're in person, you can fill out a pink form at the visitors table. You can visit our website for our contact form. Or today, stick around for worship, after worship, for our adult religious exploration series on sacred language. We'll continue that in the sanctuary. Bivalent boosters, the ones that are specialized for the new variants, are available at doctor's offices, pharmacies, Walgreens, many other places. Recommended for anyone over the age of 12, so go ahead and get yours if you haven't already. And we're gonna do this periodically. We're checking in and taking a congregational snapshot. This is not a vote, but rather just a representation. If we switched to masks optional, how many of you would prefer that? Masks optional. Okay. And for how many would that pose a real challenge? Where's masks? Okay. So okay. Great. Good to know. Next time we do that, I'll instruct all of you to look around at one another, since this is not just information for me, but for all of us. But suffice it to say, significant majority good with masks optional. Large chunk of people, though, not good with masks optional. Okay. Many announcements are in your order of service, and you can find them and read them at your leisure, but I want to draw your attention to a few things. We have an exploring membership class this Saturday, 10 to 3, coffee, donuts, lunch, and childcare provided. And I will have my laptop out after the service so that any of you who have not yet signed up who wish to can sign up online. And this helps us do our planning. That very evening, the board is hosting a dinner to present some changes we're working on and get your feedback and check in with all of you. So anyone's welcome to come. And you're in luck. There are many people on the board who are great cooks, and they are providing the mains, so feel free to bring sides. Finally, our music ministry transition conversations are happening, so the details are in your order of service, in the newsletter, and on the website. But we have some board members here who will be able to sign you up after service for the conversation that is most relevant to you. These board members are Katie Claude, and Heather Rushforth, who is wearing a headband with many bats on it and will be, therefore, very easy to spot. Finally, your order of service tells you that there is a potluck today, but this is a trick. And by a trick I mean a mistake, we had our October potluck on the 16th, so no potluck today. Following the inspiring examples around you and your own deep inner knowing, go forth into the changes that call you and watch the beautiful future unfurl around you like wings. Go in peace. Rise in body or in spirit for our benediction hymn from this house.
From the stars
Yeah.